I wasn't planning to stay out late that night. It was supposed to be a simple get-together. Just me and a couple of my friends unwinding after a long week. The Hollow Oak was our usual hangout, a cozy bar tucked into a quiet part of town. It used to be an old house, so it had a weird layout, with slanted floors and rooms that felt too small for crowds. But it was familiar, and more importantly, it was local. That night I wore jeans, a black V-neck, and a denim jacket. It was colder than I expected when I stepped outside, but I figured I'd warm up once I got inside. I slung my purse over my shoulder, checked that I had my ID, and made sure the little canister of pepper spray was clipped where I could reach it. Just habit. You never really expect to use it. I got there around 8:30. My friends, Emily, Krista, and Danny, were already inside, tucked into a corner booth with drinks in hand and loud laughter spilling from their table. The place was dim as usual, lit with string lights and flickering candles. Some local band was playing a set of 90s rock covers, just loud enough to fill the air but not so loud we couldn't talk. I waved and slipped into the seat next to Emily. The waitress came by, and I ordered my usual vodka cranberry, light on the vodka. I wanted to keep my head clear. I had plans the next morning, and I didn't feel like nursing a hangover. We talked, we laughed, we gossiped. For the first hour or so, it felt like every other night out. Until he showed up. I noticed him because he was standing near the bar, looking over in our direction. Tall, clean-shaven, short dark hair, dressed in a black hoodie and jeans. He had that kind of face you wouldn't call attractive at first glance but grew on you if you stared too long. I looked away quickly when I realized he was watching. About 20 minutes later, he was suddenly at our table. "Mind if I sit?" he asked, his voice calm, low. The girls looked at me, and I gave a shrug, trying to play it cool. "Sure," I said, "why not?" He slid in next to me, leaving a small gap between us. "I'm Matt," he said. We shook hands. His grip was firm but not too strong. We started talking, and I'll admit, he was smooth, not pushy. He asked questions, seemed genuinely interested, and didn't interrupt. He had this quiet, confident energy that made me feel like I'd met him before, even though I hadn't. The girls were still at the table but slowly started drifting off. One went to smoke. Another to flirt with someone at the bar. Eventually, it was just me and Matt. My second drink was halfway gone, and I excused myself to go to the restroom. I didn't feel drunk at all, just warm, loose. I remember glancing at my glass before I left the table, making a mental note of how much I had left. I shouldn't have done that. The bathroom was around the corner and down a short hallway. A little too clean for a dive bar, always smelling faintly of lemon cleaner and something floral. I washed my hands, checked my face in the mirror, and headed back out. When I returned, Matt smiled. "I got you a fresh drink," he said, nudging a new vodka cranberry toward me. "I figured yours was getting warm." That was the first red flag, but I ignored it. "Oh," I said. "Thanks." I should have said no, should have insisted on finishing my own. But I didn't want to seem rude. Stupid, I know. But in the moment, it felt easier just to go along with it. I took a sip. It tasted fine. Just like the one before. A little stronger, maybe, but I figured the bartender was being generous. We kept talking. He leaned in a bit closer. His eyes didn't wander, didn't drop to my chest or legs the way most guys did. He kept looking straight into my eyes. I should have liked that. But something about it felt off, like he was reading me instead of listening. About 10 minutes passed before I started feeling weird. Not drunk, not tipsy, just off. My head felt heavy, like someone had placed a warm, wet towel on top of it. My eyelids got heavier with each blink. Sounds around me started to blur together, the music, the voices, the clinking of glasses. Even Matt's voice seemed to stretch, like it was coming from underwater. "You okay?" he asked, his face suddenly closer. I nodded, even though I wasn't. "I think I need to go," I mumbled. My tongue felt thick in my mouth. "I'll take you," he said quickly. "It's no problem." "No, my friends. They already left," he said, helping me out of the booth. "You've been sitting here for a while. I think they thought you were with me." That couldn't be right. Had it really been that long? I reached for my phone to call Emily, but my fingers fumbled and missed. Matt grabbed my purse for me and slung it over his shoulder. "I've got you," he said. And I let him lead me out the front door. The cold air hit me like a punch, but it didn't wake me up. I felt like I was moving through jelly. My feet didn't feel like mine. I remember the parking lot lights spinning as we walked. Then I was in his car. I don't remember getting in. It was dark inside. He had music playing low, something soft and instrumental. The dashboard lights glowed blue. I leaned my head against the window, trying to stay awake. That's when I realized what had happened. I wasn't drunk. I'd only had 2 drinks. 3, maybe, if you counted the one he gave me. But this was something else. My body felt wrong. My brain felt like it was covered in thick fog. He drugged me. The realization hit like a lightning bolt. My heart started racing, but my limbs wouldn't cooperate. I tried to sit up straight. Tried to open the door. It was locked. He glanced at me, saw me fumbling. "You're okay," he said softly. "Just relax." I started to cry. He reached over and touched my leg. That was it. The fear, raw and bright, cut through the fog like a blade. My hand darted for the lock, hit the button, and yanked the door handle. The wind roared into the car. He shouted something, grabbed my arm, but I twisted and kicked. I fell. Hit the pavement hard, rolling onto my side. Pain shot through my knee and elbow, but I scrambled to my feet and ran. I didn't look back. I just ran. There were houses. A quiet neighborhood. Trees and streetlights. My vision blurred, and my legs wobbled, but I kept moving, ducking between yards, over fences, through bushes. At some point, I collapsed behind someone's garage, heart hammering, chest heaving. I could still hear a car somewhere nearby. Slow, creeping. Headlights swept past once, then again. I crawled deeper into a bush, held my breath, and stayed still. I didn't move for hours. My phone buzzed, a message from Emily. "Where did you go?" I tried to type back, but my fingers were shaking. Finally, I managed, "Need help. Please." She called immediately. I whispered where I was, as best I could. She and Krista picked me up about 20 minutes later. I'd never been so happy to see anyone. They drove me straight to the hospital. They tested me. I still don't know what drug it was, but it was in my system. Something strong. Something fast-acting. I filed a police report. They took everything seriously, my statement, the toxicology report, even surveillance footage from the bar. But somehow, Matt never showed up clearly on the cameras. His face was always turned, always in shadow. No clear plate from his car. No fingerprints on my purse. He disappeared. Just like that, they never found him. I still think about that night, about how close I came to vanishing. To being another headline. Another face on a poster. I wonder what he would have done if I hadn't jumped. If I'd blacked out completely. If I'd hesitated even 5 more seconds. I started carrying a knife after that. Took self-defense classes. Switched bars, switched routines. But sometimes, when I walk past a dark car idling on the street, I get that same feeling in my stomach. Like my body remembers what my mind tries to forget. It wasn't just a close call. It was a warning, and I'll never ignore my gut again.